Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Fahri Ramadan. Today I will explain to you my summarize based on 3 videos that has been sent by my lecturer Miss Amy. So, my summary is based on the first video by a soft skill coach named Michelle. On this video, Michelle showed me how to use hand gesture to deliver an effective talk. According to Michelle, there are top 6 hand gestures that can help deliver an influential public speech. For the first is listing. The easiest and the most basic hand gesture is listing. Anytime you say a number, you can list it with your hands like this. Decide movement with body language and also attract the listener's attention. And here is an example. 3 ways memorize quickly. First, note important points. Second, read notes repeatedly. And the third, visualize. This is the example to use listing. For the second, leveling. To show the level of something, for example, if something is high or something is low, you can use to indicate how big or small something. You can use like this. For example, it's a pretty big deal, or it's matter of least important. It's pretty big deal, or it's matter of least important. So here I've used my hand to show the level. For the third is pointing. Pointing is a very popular hand gesture and you might be confused. There's the positive or negative. This one should be used with caution because normally people don't like to be pointed at. It can seem as if you are accusing them. However, you can point to get attention or literally to make a point. For example, you not just remember something important, or you could say, this one is important. And the fourth, you can use this and that. So the next hand gesture is this and that. Whenever you want to spread the different ideas or thing that you're saying, you can use hand gesture this and that. For example, we are totally different from them. We are totally different from them. Using my right hand when I say we and using my left hand when I say them. So this is the great way to put distance between two things and show these separate things or idea. For the fifth is prompting. Some might you wonder that are prompting gesture. So these are those gestures that when you ask audience to something you do it along with them. If you ask the listener to raise their hand, you raise along with them. Or if you ask them to clap or perform any other action, you do it along with them. So the reason you need to do is to get them more engaged to your talk. And the last one is supporting gesture. So to use gesture effectively, you should gesture should support your words. And if you take away from them what are you saying, probably like playing with your ring or clasping your hand, and they are probably taking away from your presentation and not really addict. So at the end of the day, it comes down to preparation and practice, and the most important is to be nature. So don't really try and force yourself if you don't feel nature. So you need to find out which one of these gestures are you comfortable. Because not all gesture can be used by everybody. And then I will tell you my summary from the second video by communication coached by Alex Leon. The presentation skills are a really important part of leadership. And there are 3 ways to improve your non-verbal body language so that people can hear your message much more confident and more composed way. So for the first tip is eye contact and smile. You have to look directly into listener's eyes about 99% of the time. You don't want to look your notes, you don't want to look your back and slide at your slide or the floor. A lot of habits out there in terms of eye contact. You want to look somebody's eyes almost the whole time. It really takes quite a bit of practice. And you want to make eye contact long enough to finish the thought before moving to the next person, so you don't want to stare at one person the whole time. Tips number 2 is posture and gesture. And these things go together. So the terms of what not to do for posture, you don't want to shuffle your feet back and forth. You don't want to sway your hips. You don't want to cross and uncross your legs repetitively. You don't want to pace like a wild person. If you want to walk, it's okay, a little bit, but make sure you walk, you stop, and you say a little bit before you walk again. It's all you have to do is stand like a normal person. You also want to soften your knees a little bit. You don't want to have locked knees. You should loosely clasp your hands about bed level, and then you should just gesture naturally from there. You don't want to interlock your fingers. But if you practice at home, just loosely clasping your hand, then just start gesturing naturally from here, and that's the way to do it. And the tip for number 3 is pause and note after key ideas, and what you notice is you pause after key ideas and note that pause is really persuasive, but the nodding is contagious. You will just see people listening to you actually start to nod a little bit with you, and that's one of the ways that you know you have done. It's very subtle but powerful non-verbal body language tip. So those are the 3 tips for improve your body language tip. And for my summary, for the last video by World Champion Public Speaker, there are 4 essential body language tips from World Champion Public Speakers. For the first, great speakers keep the body open. One of the most important things that you need to realize is when you get nervous, you try to cover your vital organs, and that's why you will see a lot of speakers sometimes fold their hand, bring their hand in front of them, and then sign of nervousness. You just want to keep the body open so there is no barrier between you and me. Tips number 2. Keep your palms open. Great speaker open the palm toward the audience, showing more openness than contact with the audience, and don't show the back of your hands. Number 3. Get comfortable with the stage. Being comfortable allows you to move around and use body language, and if you're not being comfortable with the stage, your body language start constrict and you start to cover your body up. Number 4. If you have podium, whatever you do, don't touch the podium. As soon as you do that, you are going to leaning on it. You'll be shaking the podium. So what you do is keep comfortable distance between you and the podium. You and podium. You can keep your knot. You can keep your knot on it, and you can use your hand to gesture. Don't rest your hand on the podium. And that's all my summary of 3 videos. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.